Why does someone suddenly crave your attention, recognize your worth, and desire you more than ever? Have you ever wondered why someone who didn't seem interested before suddenly craves your attention, recognizes your worth, and desires you more than ever? The answer might surprise you. It happens the moment you decide enough is enough. It's at that precise moment when you choose to move on, focus on yourself, and prioritize your own growth. It's as if a bolt of regret strikes them, realizing what they've lost, and then they start chasing you, obsessing over you as if you're the only thing that matters. They didn't see it coming, but now they can't imagine life without you. That's the power of stepping back, reclaiming your strength and letting them feel the full weight of your absence. But here's the hard truth. This isn't just a twist of fate. It's the result of taking control, reclaiming your power. By stepping back, you allow them to feel the immense void your absence creates. When you redirect your energy towards yourself, you force them to confront the painful reality of your absence. They're compelled to face the unsettling realization that they took you for granted, and now they can't bear the thought of losing you. As the saying goes, don't chase. Let them realize they need you, not the other way around, and it doesn't stop there. As you continue to focus on yourself, you become even more magnetic, more desirable. It's like a light switches on in their mind, drawing them to you in your silence, making them crave your attention. They begin to see what they're losing, and the regret only deepens. They end up longing for your attention, yearning for a connection they didn't value when they had it. So, if you're ready to harness this power and make them realize how much they need you, then get ready. We're going to dive into 9 undeniable truths that will show you exactly why they only want you when you no longer want them. This isn't just about shifting the balance. It's about taking control. Let's dive in and reveal the strategies that will put you in charge of your own life. But before we continue, here's a challenge to set the stage for what's to come. If you're ready to become that person who effortlessly occupies their thoughts, drop a comment below with the phrase, "I deserve better." This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a commitment to mastering these stoic skills and becoming someone unforgettable. Let your thoughts and actions leave such a powerful mark that they can't help but think of you over and over again. Let's see who's ready to adopt this mindset and start mastering the art of becoming an irresistible thought in someone's mind. Let's dive in. 1. The power of absence. So friends, let's dive into the first point on our list, the power of absence. Now you might be thinking, really? Just by being absent, someone is going to want me more? And the answer is a resounding yes. Let's break it down and see why this seemingly simple concept holds so much power. When you're always present, always texting, calling, showing up, they start taking you for granted. It's like having Wi-Fi. You only realize how important it is when it's gone. Your constant presence becomes something they assume will always be there, like that extra slice of pizza in the fridge, until suddenly it's not, and that's when things start getting interesting. Imagine this. You're always available, you're always there when they need a shoulder to lean on or someone to hang out with. They know you'll answer the phone at 2 a.m. If they call, they know you'll drop everything to spend time with them. But then one day, you decide to step back, focus on your own life, on your own growth, and you stop being so available. Suddenly that guaranteed attention disappears, and they're left wondering what happened. This is where the power of absence comes into play. Your absence creates a void, a gap in their life where you used to be. And here's the thing about voids. They don't like to stay empty. They crave to be filled. Your absence forces them to confront the space you occupied in their life, and they start to realize just how much they miss your presence. As the wise philosopher Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." When you're always there, they think they know everything about you, about your availability, about your worth. But when you step back, They're forced to reevaluate. They realize they didn't value you as much as they should have, and that's when they start wanting you even more. Now let's add a touch of humor here. It's like when your favorite TV show ends on a cliffhanger and you're left hanging, desperate to know what happens next. Your absence is that cliffhanger in their life. They're left thinking, did I miss the ending? What's going to happen now? And here's the real kicker. Absence not only makes the heart grow fonder, it makes the mind race. They start imagining all the things you could be doing without them, all the fun you're having, all the new people you're meeting. Suddenly, they're no longer the star of your show, and that's when they start wanting to be part of the story again. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about understanding your own value. It's about recognizing that you have worth, and that worth doesn't diminish just because someone doesn't see it right away. As the great Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By stepping back and focusing on yourself, you're not only showing them what they're missing, but you're also showing yourself what you deserve. So friends, embrace the power of absence. It's a tool, a strategy, but more importantly, it's a reflection of your self-respect. When you step back, you're giving them the chance to realize what they're missing, how much you mean to them, and if they don't recognize it, well, that's their loss, not yours. Keep growing, keep focusing on yourself, and remember that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply be less available. This journey isn't just about making them want you more. It's about making sure you want yourself even more. So go ahead, embrace your worth, and let your absence speak louder than words. Because when you value yourself, the right people will start to value you too. And friends, before we move on to the next point, you're probably wondering, why do they only realize your worth when you no longer want them? The answer is that it's a situation many of us have faced. You've invested time and energy into someone, only for them to take you for granted. Then, something changes. You decide enough is enough. You stop chasing, you stop caring, and you start focusing on yourself. Suddenly, they're hit with a harsh realization of your worth and start craving your attention. But why does this happen? Why do they only realize your worth when you no longer want them? The answer lies in the psychological and emotional dynamics of human behavior. When you're always available, always giving, people can easily fall into the trap of taking you for granted. They become accustomed to your presence, your attention, and your care. It's human nature to underestimate what's easily available, but the moment you decide to pull back, reclaim your energy, and focus it on yourself, everything changes. This shift in dynamics forces them to confront the reality of your absence. Suddenly, what they once took for granted becomes painfully noticeable. They start to realize the depth of what they're losing. A reliable presence, a source of support, and perhaps even a source of love. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who caused the offense. By stepping back and focusing on yourself, you're not just regaining control, you're changing the narrative. When you stop being present, they're left with a void, and that void triggers a deep sense of regret and longing. They start to realize that your worth wasn't in your constant presence, but in the uniqueness of what you brought to their lives, something no one else can replace. This is the moment when they begin to see your true worth, and it hits them hard. Moreover, as you focus on your growth, you naturally become more magnetic. Your self-confidence grows, your energy changes, and you start attracting more positivity into your life. This only intensifies their regret, because now they see a version of you that is even more desirable but more distant. In essence, they realize your worth when you no longer want them because you've taken away the comfort of your presence. You've allowed them to see what life is like without you, and in that absence, your worth becomes glaringly obvious. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes stepping back is the most effective way to make someone realize they can't afford to lose you. This isn't about playing games, but about understanding human nature and using it to reclaim your own power and worth. I'd love to know what you think. What questions are running through your mind right now? Share them in the comments. I'm here to help you navigate this journey. And if everything's clear so far, give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, get ready to discover the next thing they might feel. Something that will be even more impactful, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Stay tuned, because we're just getting to the heart of how your absence can make a profound difference in their lives. The shift in dynamics. So, friends, let's move on to the second point, the shift in dynamics. This is a real game changer, and it's about how the balance of power can flip when you decide you're done chasing. It's like changing the rules in the middle of a game. You go from playing defense to playing offense, and suddenly they're the ones trying to catch up. Let's paint a picture here. You've been putting in all the effort, sending the first messages, making plans, bending over backward to keep the relationship going. Basically, you're a one-person cheerleading squad, always boosting them up. But what happens when you decide, you know what, I'm done? You stop putting them on a pedestal and instead start focusing on yourself. It's like that moment in a movie where the underdog finally realizes their worth and stops trying to impress others. And guess what happens next? The dynamics change. Suddenly, you're not the one seeking validation, they are. They start to feel that shift, and it throws them off balance. This shift is powerful because it forces them to see you in a new light. As the great Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." When you stop bending to their will and start reclaiming your own, they can't help but notice. You're no longer at their beck and call, and that makes you incredibly intriguing. Think of it this way. When you're always available and eager, they know exactly where you stand. They're used to you being their backup, their support. But when you pull back, when you stop being so predictable, it creates a sense of mystery. Suddenly, they're not sure if they still have your attention, and that uncertainty can be irresistible. Here's a fun example. Remember that time you were really into a TV series, but then the plot got a bit dull, so you stopped watching? But then, a friend tells you the latest episode had a crazy twist, and suddenly you're hooked again. You start binge watching to catch up, all because the series went from predictable to surprising. That's exactly what happens when you change the dynamics in a relationship. You go from being that constant, predictable presence to someone a bit harder to figure out, a bit more interesting. And let's not forget the humor in this situation. It's like when your cat suddenly decides to ignore you, and now you're the one desperately trying to get their attention. You're there with the catnip saying, "Come on, Neko, I'm right here." But Neko's busy doing their own thing, and now you're the one feeling left out. That's exactly how they feel when you change the dynamics. Suddenly they're the ones trying to win you back. But remember, friends, this isn't about manipulation, it's about recognizing that relationships are a two-way street. If you've been doing all the work, it's time to let go and see if they're willing to step up. And if they do, great. If not, you've just made room in your life for someone who will value you without needing a reminder. So embrace the shift in dynamics. It's a powerful reminder that you deserve to be valued, not just by others, but by yourself. When you stop chasing, you create space for people to come to you, and those who truly value you will rise to the occasion. Keep focusing on your growth, your happiness, and your journey. And remember that you're not just changing the dynamics, you're changing the game. 3. The Allure of Independence. Let's dive into one of the most fascinating aspects of human relationships, the allure of independence. This concept is a true game changer, and is absolutely crucial to understanding why they suddenly desire you when you no longer want them. Imagine this scenario. You've always been the one reaching out, the one who's available, the one who makes time for them. They've gotten used to it, maybe even taken it for granted. But then something changes. You decide to focus on yourself, on your growth, on your happiness, on your goals. You stop waiting for their calls, you stop rearranging your life for them, and you start living for yourself. Here's the key point. Independence is incredibly attractive. It's like flipping a switch in their minds. Suddenly, they see you thriving on your own, and it hits them like a ton of bricks. You're no longer just the person who was always there for them. You're someone who's building a life, growing and shining without needing them. And, friends, that's when the tables start to turn. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." When you live in harmony with yourself, you radiate a peace and confidence that are undeniably attractive. It's this inner strength that draws people back to you, often when they realize they're no longer the center of your universe. But why does independence have this effect? It's because independence communicates self-worth. When you're independent, you're telling the world, "I am valuable on my own. I don't need anyone to complete me." And trust me, friend, people notice. They start to see what they're missing out on, a person who is whole, self-sufficient, and living life on their own terms. This is the essence of the allure of independence. Imagine you're at a party. There's someone there who's friendly, chats with everyone, but doesn't particularly stand out. Then there's someone else who's confident, comfortable in their own skin, moving through the crowd with ease, not desperate for attention, but fully enjoying themselves. Who would you be more attracted to? Probably the second person, right? That's the allure of independence in action. When you embody independence, you become that person who doesn't need to chase anyone's approval. You're busy chasing your own dreams, and that's far more attractive. It's this confidence and self-assuredness that makes others want to be part of your life, even if they didn't see your value before. But let's be clear about something. Independence isn't about shutting people out or being distant. It's about prioritizing yourself, your goals, and your well-being. It's about showing that while you value relationships, you don't depend on them for your happiness. This subtle yet powerful shift, this change in mindset, transforms how others perceive you. They start to see you as someone desirable, not because you're always available, but because you're living a full and rich life that they want to be part of. And here's where the magic happens. When you focus on your independence, you naturally attract more positivity and opportunities into your life. You're not waiting for someone to validate you because you've already given that validation to yourself. It's at this point that they start missing you, craving the energy and confidence you exude. What's the takeaway here? Embrace your independence, cultivate it, and use it as a powerful tool, not only to enrich your life, but to make others realize what they've lost by not valuing you. Remember, friends, you are your greatest asset. As you continue to grow and thrive on your own, you'll find that those who didn't see your worth before will start to see it clearly, and by then, it might be too late for them. In the end, living independently is about loving yourself enough to know that you don't need anyone else to validate your worth. So go out there, live your best life, and watch as others realize how much they want to be part of it. Stay strong, stay focused, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. Your independence isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. 4. The scarcity effect. So friends, let's dive into our fourth point, the scarcity effect. This is a real game changer and touches on the heart of why they only want you when you no longer want them. People are naturally wired to desire what they can't easily have. It's like that last slice of pizza that becomes 10 times more desirable when you realize it's about to disappear. The same principle applies to relationships. When you make yourself less available, you become scarce, and that scarcity increases your value in their eyes. Imagine this: you're always there, always available, always ready to drop everything for them. They get used to that, start thinking your attention is something they can always count on, no matter what. But the moment you pull back, something fascinating happens. Suddenly they start noticing the space you leave behind, and they begin to realize that your presence wasn't something they should have taken for granted. And just like that, you go from being a common presence in their life to something rare and valuable. It's a bit like how we treat everyday objects versus rare collectibles. You wouldn't think twice about losing a pen because you can get another one anytime. But if you lose a rare limited edition item, you'd feel the loss, right? When you become scarce, you stop being that everyday pen and become that one-of-a-kind item they suddenly can't stop thinking about. As the philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." When you realize that your time and attention are valuable, you stop giving them away so easily. And trust me, when you pull back and start valuing your own time, others will start valuing it too. They start to see you not just as someone who's always there, but as someone whose presence is a privilege, not a given. Let's make this a bit lighter with a touch of humor. It's like when you were a kid and ignored your toys until someone else wanted to play with them. Suddenly, that toy became the most interesting thing in the room. Adults aren't much different. We all want what we think we might lose, and that's exactly what happens when you create a bit of distance. Now, this doesn't mean you play hard to get or start some kind of mind game. It's about genuinely focusing on yourself, on your growth, and on your happiness. When you're not always available, when you're busy living your best life, they can't help but notice your absence. This absence becomes a powerful reminder of your value and makes them start to crave that presence they once ignored. Imagine a scenario where you're always texting, always available for a call, always saying yes to plans. Now flip the script. Imagine you start focusing on your passions, spending time with other friends, investing in your own self. You're no longer the person who's always available, and that's when they start to miss you. They start wondering what you're doing, why you're not as present, and they begin to crave that connection they once overlooked. The scarcity effect reminds us that sometimes less is more. When you stop giving so much of yourself, you give others the chance to miss you, to value you, and to realize what they might lose. It's a powerful tool not just in relationships, but in life in general. So take this as a little motivational push. Don't be afraid to step back and let others feel your absence. Focus on yourself and allow them to realize just how valuable your presence truly is. Remember, you're not just anyone. You're someone who deserves to be missed. And when you start treating yourself that way, others will too. 5. The contrast of confidence. Let's dive into our fifth truth, the contrast of confidence. This is where things really start to get interesting. Confidence is one of those qualities that is both magnetic and transformative. When you no longer want someone, something remarkable happens. You begin to radiate a new level of confidence, and trust me, they can't help but notice it. Imagine this scenario. Before, you were completely wrapped up in someone else's world. Maybe even a little insecure, always seeking their approval or attention. But then you make the decision to focus on yourself, to let go of the need for their validation. You stop caring so much about what they think, and instead start caring more about your own growth, happiness, and well-being. It's like a switch flips inside you, and suddenly you walk with more confidence, smile with more brightness, and exude a sense of self-assurance that wasn't there before. This shift doesn't go unnoticed. In fact, it's overwhelmingly evident. The person who once took you for granted now sees you in a completely different light. You're no longer the person who was always there waiting for their attention. Now you're someone who's thriving on their own. And that contrast between who you were when you wanted them and who you are now that you no longer want them creates a powerful shift in how they perceive you. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By reacting to their indifference with confidence and self-assurance, you're sending a clear message. You don't need them to define your worth. And let me tell you, that's incredibly attractive. Let's add a touch of humor here. Think of it this way. You're a caterpillar that just turned into a butterfly, and they're there, stunned, unable to believe what they're seeing. They're wondering where that little crawling insect went. Suddenly, they realize you're not just any butterfly. You're one with vibrant wings, flying high and free, completely out of their reach. Confidence, my friends, is like a beacon of light in a dark room. It draws people in, sparks their curiosity, and leaves them wondering how they didn't see it before. When you stop wanting someone and start focusing on your own journey, your confidence grows, and with it, their desire for you intensifies. They start to realize that the person they took for granted has become someone extraordinary, someone who doesn't need them to feel complete. And here's the trick, this confidence not only draws them in, but it also empowers you. You start to see yourself differently too. You realize that your worth isn't tied to someone else's opinion or affection. You're valuable for who you are, not for who wants you. So let this be your motivation. Embrace your confidence. Let go of the need to be desired, and watch how your self-assurance not only transforms you, but also changes the way others see you. You're not just someone's backup plan, you're the main event, the person they suddenly can't stop thinking about because you're no longer seeking their approval. Remember, friends, confidence is contagious. The more you cultivate it, the more people will be drawn to it, and in the end, you'll find that the only approval you really needed was your own. So keep growing, keep shining, and let your confidence be the force that not only attracts but also empowers you to live your best life. 6. The pain of regret. Let's dive into our sixth truth, which really hits hard: the pain of regret. Have you ever noticed how people often realize what they had only after they've lost it? It's like the classic, "You don't know what you've got until it's gone." But with a twist of Stoic wisdom, imagine this: you've been there for someone, supporting them, caring for them, but they didn't value it much. Then one day, you decide, enough is enough. You walk away, you focus on yourself, and suddenly, bam, they're faced with the harsh reality of what they've lost. It's like they're walking down a path of memories, but instead of enjoying the stroll, they're stumbling over the rocks of regret. Regret is a powerful emotion, friends. It has a way of sneaking up on you and whispering in your ear, "What have you done?" And for them, it's not just about missing you, it's about the deep pain of knowing they had something great and let it slip away. As Seneca wisely said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. But here's the twist. That ending for them is the beginning of their regret. Let's be real, regret can be a brutal teacher. It forces them to replay all the moments they took you for granted, all the times they didn't appreciate your worth. It's like they're stuck in a loop, realizing over and over again what they've lost. And that's when they start wanting you more than ever. They crave a second chance, even though deep down they know they might never get it. So if you ever feel like you're not being valued, remember this. Sometimes, the most powerful move you can make is to step back and let them feel the pain of regret. It's not about being cruel, but about letting them see your true worth. And who knows, that regret might just be the spark that ignites a new beginning, one where they finally realize you were the person they truly needed all along. Stay strong, focus on your growth, and let the pain of their regret be a testament to your worth. You're worth it. 7. The mystery of uncertainty. Let's now explore the seventh truth, The mystery of uncertainty. This is one of the juiciest elements of why they only desire you when you no longer want them. Imagine this. You've pulled back, you've stopped sending those texts asking how their day is going, and suddenly they're left scratching their heads wondering what's going on. Uncertainty drives them crazy. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. And let me tell you, people love a good mystery, especially when it involves someone they once thought they had all figured out. When you create a bit of distance, you also generate a lot of curiosity. Suddenly they're thinking about you more, replaying past conversations, wondering what you're up to. As Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." In this case, they start to fear losing the connection they had with you. The less they know, the more they want to know. And here's the trick. Uncertainty isn't just intriguing, it's magnetic. It pulls them in like a moth to a flame. They start to miss your presence and the certainty they once took for granted. So embrace the mystery, friends. Keep them guessing and watch how they come running back, eager to solve the puzzle that is you. Remember, your value doesn't diminish because someone else can't see your worth. Keep shining, keep growing, and let them realize what they're missing out on. 8. The role reversal. Now, diving into the 8th truth, the role reversal. This one is truly revealing, and honestly, it's almost poetic how it plays out. Imagine this. Once, you were the one who was chasing, seeking validation, always there, always available. But then something changes. You decide to step back, focus on yourself, and suddenly, boom, the roles are reversed. Now they're the ones chasing you, trying to win you back. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By letting go of the need for their approval, you put yourself in a position of power. They start to wonder, why aren't they chasing me anymore? Did I lose something valuable? And that thought, my friends, is what changes the game. Imagine you were always the one sending messages first, making plans. But now, you're not reaching out, you're not available, and they feel the shift. They start sending you messages, trying to catch your attention, trying to win back what they didn't value before. The beauty of this role reversal is that it's not about playing games, but about recognizing your value. When you focus on yourself, you become the prize. And here's the motivational part. By stepping back, you're not just gaining control, you're also teaching them a valuable lesson about your worth. So keep shining, keep focusing on your growth, and watch how the roles naturally reverse in your favor. You've got this. 9. The fear of finality. Finally, we arrive at the 9th truth, the fear of finality. When you finally decide to move on, there's a moment of absolute panic that grips them. It's like a sudden realization that, wait, this could really be the end. And trust me, nothing makes someone want you more than the fear of losing you forever. Imagine this. You've stopped reaching out, you've stopped caring, and you've started living your best life. They see you thriving, and suddenly, the thought creeps in. What if they can't get you back? It's a classic case of, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. And in that moment, they start to panic, wondering if they've really lost their chance to be with you. Did I just let the best thing slip through my fingers? As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Well, now their thoughts are dyed with regret, fear, and a desperate longing to undo the finality of your departure. They'll go to great lengths to try to win you back, because the idea of you being gone forever is just too much to bear. So here's the motivation, friend. Keep focusing on yourself and let them feel that fear, because it's a powerful reminder of your value. When you choose yourself, you not only become stronger, but you also become someone they realize they can't afford to lose. These 9 truths show that when you reclaim your power, focus on yourself and step back, you force others to face the reality of losing you. It's not just about making them want you. It's about understanding your own worth and letting them see it too, often when it's almost too late.